Hey guys, this is E with Scrapbooking with Me, and we're going to make some little pocket folios today, and we're going to use our 12 by 12 paper. Now this one, of course, this is my prototype, and things are upside down. You really need to use a paper that's non-directional, or just plan on collaging this or putting something over it. It's kind of hard when you have a directional paper to get everything turned the right way. But you can see you're using the whole 12 by 12 sheet, and in here we're going to, if it's not white or not where you can write on it, we're going to put a piece of coffee dyed paper. So you have a pocket here, a pocket here, a pocket here, a pocket here, and a pocket on the outside, and then it just folds up like this. And you can see why I said you need to use a non-directional paper, or either plan on covering this, or you might be able to figure out how to get everything on the front side to come out the right direction. So far I haven't been able to. But it's a 5 by 5. You can use it as a card, put it in an envelope, or you can use these in your journal. They're exactly the right size to put down in your journal, glue on 3 sides, and still have another tuck in the back. And then when you flip it out, you've got all these pockets that you can put journaling cards in, and a journaling space in the center. And it's just another way that we can use up our 12 by 12 paper that all of us have in our stash. So let's get started. Let's see, let me make sure this is 12 by 12. Yes, it's a fraction over, but we're not going to worry about that. Now this one, let's see, this is the back side. You'll be able to write on that with no problem. So I'm probably going to, this is the top. So let's see, I think I'm going to go this way. We'll see what happens. Never know until you try, but we'll see what happens. Like I said, you may be able to figure out exactly how to score this and fold and everything and get the right side up on the front. So far, I've done 4 or 5 and I haven't been able to do it, but maybe it's just me. I may have a mental block when it comes to this. Okay, we're going to score on this side at 3 inches. Now this is a very thick cardstock, so I'm going to score probably 2 or 3 times. And then you're going to score at 8. Now I saw this on a YouTube channel a couple of years ago, and I couldn't find the channel, and I couldn't remember the exact measurements or how she made it, so I'm just kind of making up my own thing here. I don't know if these are the measurements that she did, but I just took some scrap paper and I played around with it until I figured out some measurements. This is 3.5. You turn it 1 turn to the right. You score at 3.5 and at 8.5. Alright, we'll go over that again. I've got it turned sideways. This is the up part, this is the down, or this is the top, this is the bottom. So I scored at 3 and 8, and then I turned it 1 turn to the right, and I scored at 3.5 and 8.5. So we're going to take it off and see what, start doing some cutting and see what happens. Now I'm going to fold first, and I'm going to fold both ways just to try to keep my paper from cracking. So just bear with me a minute while I do some folding. Okay, then we're going to turn it and fold it this way. Okay. Fold it like that. And I'm just, like I said, I'm folding it both ways just to kind of keep down on any cracking, since this is such a thick paper. Okay, with the, let's see, this is, let me make sure that I'm telling you correctly. Okay, with the one that has the 3.5 inch score line and the 8.5 inch score line at the top. So this is 3.5, 8.5, and then we have 3 inches right here from this score line to this. So make sure that you have it up that way. So again, this is 3.5 and 8.5, and I've got that running vertically. And then this little part is 3 inches. Now, if you turned it the wrong way, this one down here would be the 4 inch. So you don't want that one on top. You want the 3 inch on top. So with that on the top, my 3.5, 8.5 on top, I am going to cut up on the score line on this right here. Now, you can use your cutter, your trimmer, if you want. I am going to hopefully draw me a little line down that score line so I can see it a little better. It's hard on this paper to see it. So there's my score line, and I'm going to cut that score line completely out. So you cut on the right side of it just a tiny bit, and then you're going to cut on the left side just a tiny bit. Not much at all, just the score line. Okay, so you have, oops, if I can pick it up, you have this little tiny piece right here that you cut out. That's your score line. So we've got that like that. Now this is going to be a pocket. We can flip this up like this, or you can turn it over and do it the other direction. I think I'm going to do mine like this because that will be a good writing space right there. Now we are going to notch this so that we can tell that it's a pocket. Okay, so there's our notch. And then I'm going to reinforce the score line real well, pressing it down. So we've got that. Okay, now on this side right here where your score lines are, and again I'm going to mark my score lines. It just helps me out a little bit since I don't see that well. There's a score line, and then, and you probably will not have to do this if you've got good eyes. Alright, so there's my score line, there's my score line. Now this is where they meet right here, and what I'm going to do is draw a line from that corner down to this point. And we're going to cut this out. We're going to cut right up through that line that we just drew. Like that. Okay. So see, this is where we did the other pocket. This is where we're going to do this one. Now this is going to fold over this way, and you're going to score it. And then this one is going to fold up this way. Like that. So there's your 2 angled pockets that we had. Okay, then you're going to turn it just a little bit. Leave those folded up so you can tell what it is. On here, you're going to cut up on this score line. So again, I'm just going to draw mine out, just so it helps me a little bit to stay a little bit straighter. I'm going to go ahead and draw this one over here out too, just so I can see. Okay. Now we're going to cut up on this score line, and we're going to cut up on that score line. Not all the way to here, but just up to that intersection there. So let's cut. I'm going to cut the score line out again. So I'm going to cut on the right hand side of the score line just till we get to here. And then I'm going to cut on the left hand side of the score line. Okay. Again, we're taking that little bitty bit out, that score line. Get that ruler out of the way because it changes my lighting when I have a glare. Alright, then on this side we're going to do the same thing. Whoops, I don't think I actually marked that correctly. So I'm just going to pretend that I marked it right. We're going to go right up through there. And we're going to cut that score line out. Now you can tell when you start folding everything if you've got your little pieces cut out correctly, or if something's crooked, you can tell. You'll be able to see it. I'm going to go ahead and erase this because I actually marked that wrong. So, alright. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and cut a little bit more off of this. This is just where my score line was, the edge of it. You just don't want any bulk when you start trimming. or when you start folding, you want all that bulk gone. Okay, now we can do a little bit of inking. I'm going to do some inking, and then we'll come back and we'll start putting this together. Okay, hopefully I got everything inked on the right sides. I think I did. But if we didn't, we can do a little inking it on the way. Now this is the pocket that we cut and folded up first. So you're going to put ink. You're going to put ink. This is called glue. You're going to put glue on both sides. Just right close to the edge. And then you're just going to stick that down and burnish it. This is why I was telling you it's real important to get this as straight and as cut out as possible, because you want this to fold over easy and not have any bulk right in your fold. So just take your time and cut that out well. Now on this one we're going to put some glue right up through there. And that's going to fold over right to there. Okay, and then this one, we'll put some glue right up through here. And you can cut a pull out on these if you want. I don't feel the need to do that. So, all right, I'm gonna fold that one that way, and I just reinforce all those score lines. This one's going to fold over. You can fold either side over first, it doesn't matter. And then this one's going to fold up. Now, like I said, this is a very thick cardstock, so I don't see anything hindering my fold, but it's a thick cardstock, so it's not going to want to fold up so easily. This one can either fold down this way or fold back. And then this one can fold this way. Either way that you want it, it doesn't matter. I think I'm going to fold that one back that way. Maybe, nope. I'm going to fold this one back this way and this one in, because this one has some writing that is going to show, and it would be upside down if I folded it the other way. So this one will fold in. Whoops, I keep sliding across my desk. Okay, that one folds that way, and then this will fold over, and I don't see anything hindering that. And then this one is going to fold over that way. So we have a pocket on the outside too. Might as well use all of these pockets. All this paper, just use it for pockets, because we can always put journaling cards in these. Okay. Now I have just a tiny bit sticking out right here, so I'm going to trim that off. That's just where that other pocket folded. So we're just going to trim that a little bit of ink back on it. And then that's going to fold down that way. Whoops. Okay. Make sure that you put quite a bit of glue right here, because that's going to have a little bit of pressure on it. So just put your glue there. So then we have a pocket here, and this can be your top, and you can decorate that. You can decorate here, or put a piece of paper on, let that be journaling. Either way, you've got a pocket here. You fold this out, you've got a pocket here, and your writing is the right way up. Fold out here, you've got a pocket here, and journaling space here. I love these. Like I said, I saw it last year sometime on, or it may have even been the year before, on a video, and I could not, I don't even know what it's called, so I couldn't find the video again. But I don't know, this may have been done many times before, who knows. But this is my version of it. I'm not even sure hers was exactly like this, but now you can round these if you want, and then round these if you want. Round these too. I think I'm going to leave mine just as is, because rounding it's going to cut into my pocket here. And then I'll either tie this together with a little bow or I'll put a magnet on here. As a matter of fact, let's just go ahead and put a magnet on. I can put it under there, I think. Let me grab it. Sorry about my arm being in the way there. Okay, these are our basic gray magnets. And they already have the adhesive on them, sticky back. So let's see, if we put the magnet here, and I'm just going to put it on top of my pocket. I could have put it underneath, but I'm going to put it on top, and then I'll show you how I do a little circle to cover it. But if you don't care for your magnet showing, then don't worry about it. Just leave it as is. Oh, that holds it together nicely. And these are the small ones. You can get the larger ones. We have the larger ones, but these are the small ones, and this holds this well without any problem. All right, we need a little piece of paper. Now, since we used all of that, I think, we used every bit of this paper except the branding strip. So I'm going to cut these little holes out of the branding strip, and then they'll be the same color as the paper. There we go. And I always use these branding strips. Now I just put a little bit of art glitter glue on top of that, but you can use a glue dot or double-sided adhesive, whatever you would like to use. I put a little glue there, and then I put this one on there, and they still stick through that just fine without any problem, and your magnets don't show. Okay, now I'm gonna have to lay that aside and let it dry, because if I try to close it up now, of course the top of those little pieces of paper are going to come off. So let's cut up another one, and we'll just do this again and see what we get. Now this is a Tim Holtz. It is directional, but I'm gonna see what I can do to make it work out. Let's see. Okay, I'm just gonna score it. I'm not gonna worry too much about the direction of the paper. It'll all work out, and if it doesn't, we can just cover it. So I am just gonna start scoring just like I did the other one. Now I'm gonna score on the side. This is the sides. One side. This is the top, this is the bottom. So I'm scoring on the side at 3 and at 8. Alright, I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to score that same score line again. Reason being is Tim Holtz paper is pretty bad about cracking. So I'm just doing a light score line on both sides. So 3 and 8, and then you're going to turn it to the right, and you're going to score at 3.5 and 8.5. And then again, I'm going to flip it and do my score again. 3.5 and 8.5. Whoops, 8.5. And that'll just hopefully keep it from cracking. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and fold my score lines. I'm not going to burnish yet. I'm going to fold them one way and then the other, and then I'll burnish. You need to break down those fibers in your paper before you do too much burnishing, because if you don't, I'm afraid you're going to be in for some cracking. Okay. Alright, I love this paper. Need to get more of it. They'll probably discontinue it before long, so. Okay, we've got our, we'll make sure that this, since I've turned it around and around, that's my 3-inch and that's my 8-inch, so I need to turn it this way. There's my 3.5 and 8.5 score line at the top. Now, let's just look at this. You can do your pockets any way that you want to. So don't think that you've got to do them a certain way. You don't. Alright, if I fold that one up, that's definitely going to be upside down. So what if we go this direction? Alright, so I've got my 3" up here. It's scored at 3.5 and 8.5. And I'm going to cut up on this score line right here. And I'm just going to cut that little score line out. And if you want to, you can put this back in your trimmer and do all this. Okay. All right. And then I just kind of fold it up and look and see if I can see that other score line in there. And if I can, I know I'm cut out enough, and if not, then I need to trim just a little bit more. Okay, so that one looks good. And then we're going to punch our pull, and you can see this is going to be upside down, but we will cover it with something, so you don't have to worry about that. See, that's upside down, but we'll cover it and not worry about it. Okay. Now right here, we've got score line. We're going to cut down through here. So I am going to draw a little line from this point where the score lines intersect all the way down to that point. Cut right up through there. That's going to fold over that way, and that's going to work great because there's nothing on here that's going to look upside down. And then that one will fold up that way, and that one will work great too. Okay, then we're going to turn it, and we're going to cut in on this score line and in on that score line, just to the intersection there. Let's see. I think I can see better on this side, so I'm just going to flip it over and trim. It doesn't have to be perfect, but the closer you can get your lines cut, the better. Okay. So that should be our cuts. So I'll hold it like that if you want to take a screenshot of it. Got your cuts here, and this. This is your 3" right here. So then I'm going to ink all this up just like I did the other one, and then we'll start folding these up. I'll show you just how they fold. I don't know that I will decorate all of these on camera, but I'll just give you some ideas. I did cut a little pull in that one and a little pull in that one. There we go. Alright, I think I have it all inked, so we'll go ahead and glue this little pocket down. And you can do these in a smaller scale too. You just need to scale it down and then just figure out where you want your score lines. It doesn't have to be a 12 by 12 paper. I just happen to have quite a bit of 12 by 12 paper. So I thought this is just another way I can use it up. Okay. We got that. And then let's see. Alright, let's fold this over. A little glue right there. And that gets folded over. A little glue right up through here. Then let's see, which one do I want? I want this one to fold in and that one to fold back. Yeah. Alright. we will put our glue down through here. Now you could also put Velcro on these if you want. You could close them up with Velcro. You could tie a ribbon around them. Lots of different ways you can close them, or you can just leave them as is. Some of the paper is going to close a lot easier than others. This paper is not as thick as that paper that I used before, so it's going to close up easy. But the one before was really thick, so it needed some help. Okay. Alright, there are all of our pockets. Isn't that sweet? Now, we'll close this one over. And you could even put another pocket here if you want. I don't think we need it. I'm going to leave that for like journaling. This, I'll put a piece of coffee dyed paper in there, I think, so that we can journal in that because it's got a lot of writing. This one's going to fold over this way. Burnish, burnish, burnish. That way your folds will work great. That one's going to fold up. And we're going to burnish those score lines. And if you don't have a Teflon bone folder, you're missing out. I'm telling you. These things are wonderful. I use mine all the time. Okay, this is not exactly straight, so we're going to straighten that up. There we go. Now I think that is better. Yes, that's much better. Now see, that one almost stays closed without anything. So we may just put a little Velcro dot on that one and not a magnet. So let's grab one. Just use one of these little small Velcro dots. I'm not sure if we still have any of these. These were in one of the AJ kits, maybe. Not sure. But they're just small little Velcro dots. I'm going to put it there. And then make sure that this one's straight on top. Take the backing off so the glue is exposed. And then fold that down. There we go. And those are so light that, I mean, you can even put some ink on them and distress them up so that they match your paper. Okay, so then that closes up like that. Now we can make tags for these and do a little decorating. First I'm going to cut a piece of coffee dyed paper to go in here because I think we would need something there in order to journal. So I'm going to do, this is my measuring. Just going to do this and then do that. Just make sure that you keep it away from your folds. That's all you have to do. Okay. Now I'm going to ink this up. And put that down right there. Alright. So there we go. We have a nice journaling space there. You can journal here. And then all we need is some tags. So let me look and see what tags I have that might work in here before we start making a bunch. I have some tags and a journaling card cut for this. This is going to hold a journaling card. So that's that right there. This is another Tim Holtz paper. I think this is industrial something. And I'll cover the backs of these with coffee dyed paper. Right now I'm just showing you what I've cut for them. Let's see. This one goes here. It's a tag. This one goes in this pocket. That's a tag. This pocket's a little tighter. I actually need to run my bone folder in there, I think. I got a little glue out of line there. And two, this paper doesn't have anything on the back of it, so when I put something on the back, it'll be better. There we go. And then these little guys are going to go in here. So we've got one that'll go on this side. Again, that pocket's a little tight because I think I glued a little bit too heavy. So we'll just open it up. That'll slide in there nicely. Let's go ahead and open this one up because we know that it's probably going to be the same way with my heavy hand gluing. There we go. And then that one is going to slide in there with no problem. So we got journaling cards, we got tags, and then a good place to journal here. So you can fold one in. You could, like I said, put something here and journal, but I think you could journal on that fine. You could put another pocket here if you wanted. You could even put something here so that you can journal, or you can decorate this. I'm going to decorate this a little bit because that's upside down, and then it closes up like that. This is okay with me. I don't mind that being sideways. That's, I mean, you know, who cares? That is Tim Holtz paper, so it doesn't really matter, does it? Let's see, what should we put on there? You know, I always go to my doilies. I just think they're cute on things like this. So we could put a doily there. Tim Holtz piece, maybe. This is, let's see, this is some of his bits and pieces, I do believe. Not real sure what I want to put on here. Let me think about this a minute. What if I use this little stamped image down here? This is one of the stamped images that we did the other day in the video. And I can tear it off just a little bit, or cut it off a little bit, keep it from going over our Velcro dot. But that'll bring a little bit of a lighter color to it. I think I might do that. Let me cut it off just a little bit. This is just using one of our stamps that we have in our stash. We put that there. You'll still see a few of the numbers upside down, but that doesn't bother me. You can cover it all up if you want, but I think this is what I'm going to put down here. About right there. Okay, I like that. And then up here, I really don't have to have anything there, but since I have some of these little strips, I might just go ahead and put those down. Don't know, let me look at it. I should have probably put my Velcro dot on top of some of this. I don't know, I may just leave that. It's not that important to me to make sure that that's right side up or upside down. Then on the front, I think we'll go with the doily, and then maybe a Tim Holtz flower. Okay, in the paper collection, and let's see if we can find it. It has a little bit of that red, so I think I'm going to use this Tim Holtz flower that has the red, kind of reddish burgundy, and I'm going to ink around it to cover up all of that white. So we don't want any of that white showing. So I'm going to put my little doily down there, this there, and then I think we'll put something else behind that. Let's see if a little piece of vellum that we've stamped will work. Yeah, I don't mind that. All right. Then I think I'll see if I've got a butterfly that will match up that we can put right here. I'm not sure that I do. Let's see. We could go with the green one. These are the butterflies that I don't think we have any more of these in stock. They sold out in just like, I don't know, very, very quick. A few hours. But we've got more on the way, I do believe. I think Melina ordered more. But I'm not sure any of these are going to work. So let's go with a Tim Holtz butterfly. So I've got plenty of his butterflies. And we could just bring one in. The only thing about his is they're kind of large, so it's a little bit harder to get them to work on your page. Some of them are really large. That one might be my best bet right there. I'm going to look through, just make sure. We could go with this one maybe. Let's see. This little guy'd have to go over there though, and I don't want him over here because my flower's over there. I want one on this side. Okay, I think this may be it. I was trying to think that I thought I had more butterflies elsewhere. And I'm going to try to ink this up a little bit darker because I want it to kind of blend with that a little bit, or match up with it. So I'm going to try to take some of that orange off of it just by using my blending tool there. Oh yeah, that's better, much better. So I'll put him down right there. Like he's flying to that flower. And then let's go ahead and glue these pieces down. I'm going to glue vellum, so I'm going to use my Barely Arts. Yeah, right now we have plenty of Barely Arts. I will tell you that when we're out of stock of this that we have in now, the next bunch that we get in is the price will go up because they told me that they're gonna have to start charging more. So therefore, I hate it, but if they charge me more, then I'll have to charge you guys a little bit more. I don't know how much more, but I got a big bundle before their prices went up, so it'll last for a little while, but not very long. So if you want some before the prices go up, grab it now. It also glues all of this well too. You can glue anything that you can glue with art glitter glue. You can use your Barely Arts, and it does not freeze. We can ship it all winter long, so it works well. Okay, so there is that. I like that. Now I do need a little pull on here of some kind. Let's see. Let me look and see if I have one that will match. That's already cut out. But if we put that one on. Maybe that one, it kind of blends with this or kind of pulls this up that way. So, and this is a little bit different one. It's a small one. And these came from Katie. I'm not sure if they're punches, die cuts. I don't know exactly what they are. But you guys can, I don't know, leave in the comments. Ask her maybe. It may be a die. It looks like it could be a die. So we are going to put that in there. Oops, I need to pull it out to do that. I should have known better. There we go. Now we've got a little pull on that. Okay, so that is in. And I'm not sure, I don't think we need anything else on here, but you can decorate up the inside if you want. Like you could put some things here, here. You can do all sorts of decorating if you want to. This is just, I just wanted to mainly show you how these come about, and then you guys can do your own thing with them. But this one's going to look pretty decorated, and I may even use some of the same papers on that. I could put that there, and that would be another little pocket. So I may use some of the same papers. Who knows? Alright, that is probably all I'm going to do on this video. I just, like I said, I mainly wanted to show you how to fold them and how to cut them. I'm going to continue on and do a few more, but you guys can do some and then go over and share them on our Facebook page. That link is directly below. We would love to see what you create, and we will talk to you guys later. Please don't forget to give us a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. Bye bye.